This year's most impacting research project, titled Breaking the Silence, a multisectoral approach to preventing and responding to child sexual abuse and incest in Trinidad and Tobago, aimed to deepen the understanding of child sexual assault and incest and its implications for risky sexual behavior and HIV transmission. Professor Rhoda Reddock, Deputy Campus Principal and Professor of Gender, Social Change and Development, alongside Dr. Sandra Reid, steered the research, which began with a legislative review of laws related to child sexual abuse and incest, as well as a study of existing services for victims. The project also included several community-based action interventions and a mass media campaign.
Coming out of this research, we have generated a lot of data, so now we have a better understanding of the factors that give rise to child sexual abuse. I think the greatest impact of this project was really to bring a taboo issue into the limelight. It is now receiving greater attention from government ministries. We collaborated with the Ministry of Gender, Child and Youth Development. We made recommendations of changes in the law for inclusion in the Children's Act. We have also had very excellent collaboration with one of our major sponsors, UNICEF, in that UNICEF has taken on the Break the Silence campaign for the entire Caribbean region. So it's important to understand these underlying issues at the same time as we try to prevent such actions taking place in the future.
Dr. Sandra Reid, Senior Lecturer in Psychiatry at the Faculty of Medical Sciences, worked closely with Professor Rhoda Reddock and other members of the Breaking the Silence research team to increase public awareness about the issues and to influence service providers and policymakers to enhance policies and procedures related to child sexual assault and incest.
It was very interesting that as we looked at the factors that drove sexual behavior, trying to understand why people would engage in risky sexual behaviors, it was very interesting that this theme kept coming up, that of child sexual abuse and incest, which, based on what we were hearing from our stakeholders, is highly prevalent in our communities. Thus, the Breaking the Silence project was born. So one of the components of this study was the service providers study. Here we went out into the various governmental agencies, non-governmental agencies in Trinidad and Tobago with a specific focus on the 3 communities that we had as our target communities in the Breaking the Silence project. So we went to these service providers and we were gathering information from them, but with that information we were looking to improve the services, or at least to begin the process of improving the services for child sexual abuse in Trinidad and Tobago.
Professor Rhoda Reddock and Dr. Sandra Reid, recipients of the 2014 UWI NGC Award for Most Impacting Research Project.